everyone, in this video we're going to be working on our note naming section of our test. So I've got 3 different clefs written up here. If you don't know what this or this is, it's because you're at one of my schools that only has violins and you don't need to worry about them, okay? You'll be dealing with this clef. So anyone who plays the violin is going to be reading in the treble clef. Anyone who plays the viola, we're working with alto clef, and anyone who plays the cello or bass is working with the bass clef. So I'm going to start off with our treble clef. What you need to know about the treble clef is that it has a little word that we use to help remember the spaces and a little saying that we use to help remember the lines. So I'm going to give you a second to think about the word for the spaces. I'll give you a hint. It rhymes with space. Everybody has one. I'm pointing to mine right now. It is face. So we start like Drake started at the bottom, okay, and then work our way up. So any note that comes in the first space is going to be F. Any note in the second space is A. Any note in the third space is C. And any note in the fourth space is E. Now, there is that saying we have for our lines. It's not a nice little word for you to remember. It's a little saying. And it goes like this. Every good boy deserves fudge or fun, whatever you like. They both start with F. Okay, so any note on the first line, E. Second line, G, pardon me. Third line, B. Fourth line, D. Fifth line, F. Okay, we're going to come back in a little while to that. Let's move on now to our alto clef. So, our alto clef shouldn't be scary. It's just another language, basically. Our alto clef, the spaces are good boys deserve fudge. And our lines are fries, always, cause, extra, gas. Or face plus G, whatever you like. If you don't like mine, you think it's maybe a little too rude, whatever, use that face plus G or whatever you think. Okay, so again, first space G, second space B, third space D, and fourth space F. In the lines, we have first space F, second space, first line F, second line A, third line C, fourth line E, fifth line G. And let's move now to our, not make me go away, but to our bass clef. So our spaces here have to do with cows. What do all cows do? They all eat grass. So starting at the bottom again, just like Drake. A, all cows eat grass. All cows eat grass. Okay, first space A, second space C, third space E, fourth space G. And our lines are, some people say good boys deserve fudge. Okay, you could also say green bugs don't fly away. Okay, so first space G, first line G, second line B, third line D, fourth line F, and fifth line A. So normally what I've found is that everyone is pretty good at naming notes when they're in the spaces or on the lines, because you have these handy little sayings and words to help you remember what they are. Where we have trouble sometimes is when our notes are either above or below the staff. And again, our staff is our series of 5 lines, 4 spaces. So I'm going to take the treble clef, okay, and I'm just going to draw a note right here and below the space, okay? Now, notes always go line, space, line, space, line, space. That's the pattern. So to help us figure out what this note is, what we're going to do is identify first. Is it in a line or is it in a space? Well, it's in a space. I know that because if it was in a line, it would have a line running through it. Okay? We're not going to deal with that one right now. We're going to get rid of that. So here we go. We've got this note in a space. We're going to go to the note we know for sure, which is on the line. And we know that one for sure. Oh, sorry, I can't really see the green. You know this one is for sure because it's part of our little saying. First note on the line in the treble clef is E for every. Now, we need to determine, are we going down to figure out this note or up? Down or up? In other words, words, is this note higher or lower than E? Well, since this way is going up, this note must be going down because it's lower than the one on the line. So we're going to take our music alphabet. Okay, I'm going to write it down here. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, etc. Okay, and we're going to start at E, and we're just going to go down one note because it's line, then space, and we've hit our note. Line, space. So if we go E and we go down or backwards in our alphabet, we get D. So that note must be D. Now, if I have this note, okay, I am still going down because this note is lower than this one. So we know this one is D, okay, or we could go back up to E. E on the line, D in the space, and then next is C. So that must be C. Okay, it's the same theory for the alto and bass clef. You just start at the note you know for sure which is closest, which is going to be on our line, and then you work your way down if it's underneath this staff. Now, if we're going up, let's say, let's work with the alto clef for a moment. Let's say we have a note here. Okay, it is sitting on top of the staff. Again, same idea. We're going to figure out what the note is which is closest. So we know for sure this note on the line is G in alto clef, okay, because fries always cause extra gas. Now, is this note above or below the G? It is above because we would go up to get to it. So, I'm going to use a green here. We're starting at G and we're going up our alphabet to the next note, which is A. So this must be A. Okay? If I was to put another note here, there we go, we're still going up. So this note would be B because we were at G, then we're at A, now we're at B. Okay, again, same idea if you're in the treble clef, okay? There's going to be different notes, but it's the same idea. If we're up here, okay, the note we know for sure which is closest is on that line, and it's going to be F. So if we go up to the next note, it's G. If we kept going, it would be A. Okay? Now I'm just going to show you something on the bass clef just so that we don't leave it alone, make it feel unhappy or unloved. Okay? What happens if I have a note and it is not, they're not sort of going in order off the staff. Okay, let's say I have a note up here. Okay, there's no note in the space. Okay, notice that. It's just kind of sitting there all by itself. Can I do this? Go to the closest note I know, which is A, and then that's A and that's B, because that's the next note I've drawn? No, I cannot do that. Why can't I do that? Because notes always go line, space, line, space. If I went A, B, I'd be going from a line to a line, and I've skipped a note. So I need to go line, A, space, B, line, C. Okay? Same idea if we're going underneath the staff. Okay, there's our note. We cannot say G, F, because we've gone line, line. We need to say G on the line, F in the space, and then we have E on the line. Okay? Same idea again for the treble clef. Okay? We can't say E, D. We've skipped the actual D. E, line, space, D, C, line. So please make sure you're familiar with reading your own clef. It's going to come in very handy not only for your test, but for reading your music, which is going to help you to make music. The only other thing you're going to need to know is that I might do the reverse of what we've just done. So I might say, draw me an A in a space. So if you play the violin, you're going to need to know that A in a space is here, and you would just draw the note there. That's all. If I said alto clef, violas, draw an A on a line, you would need to know that an A on a line is here. You're only responsible for knowing your own instrument's clef. So Please do not worry about studying other ones which do not apply to you, okay? And the last thing you're going to need to know is how to draw a word on a musical staff. So I'm just going to erase here for a moment because it's in the middle of my camera, okay? If I say, draw me a word using music notes, I will have given you a staff and I will have given you the clef of your instrument. I'm just going to pick treble clef. Okay, because most of you play a violin. So what that means is you have to draw notes on the staff, which if I were to name them, would spell a word. So let's say I do this. Okay, if I was going to name these notes, I would say that's A and that's D and that's D, and altogether that makes the word add. Totally legit. That's perfect, okay? If I was going to do this, let's say, pardon, let me just draw that again. Okay. Okay, I've drawn 3 notes. F, A, E. Not a word, not legit. Please do make sure when you're drawing words that they make sense, so the words are real, okay? And make sure that you are writing words which have only the letters of the music alphabet, okay? Words like music, unfortunately, don't work because there's no M, there's no U, there's no S, there's no I in our musical alphabet. Words like phone wouldn't work, okay? There's a lot more words that won't work than will work. However, I think we've practiced this enough times for you to know some different words. Please do not use face. You're smarter than that, and you need to make sure your words are at least 3 letters long. Happy studying, and good luck, everybody.